Okay, so thank you so much for being on our podcast today. Do you want to tell us your name and a little bit about some of the businesses you've done in the past?
Yeah, so my name's Alison J. Prince online. In person, it's Alison Prince. I put a J in there because there's other Alison Princes out there. And for SEO purposes,
right, make it
I wanted to own
thing.
that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I actually started out as a junior high teacher. And big slap in the face when I qualified for food stamps after going to college for 4 years.
Right.
And I didn't want to have to be dependent on that. So I decided to start a business, but back then, the internet, I'm just gonna age me, like I didn't know what was out there, and I started hearing the buzzword about doing something online, and at the time I had 4 children, and it just seemed like the perfect fit. I didn't have to go anywhere, I could stay in my pajamas, I didn't have to brush my hair for the day.
Living the dream.
And so I actually launched my first, now I piddled around in some other type businesses, but my first online was a blog.
Okay.
And it's actually still going today.
Really? Do you still update it?
Yeah, it's called How Does She. We've got over 2 million Facebook followers, which is pretty cool.
HowDoesShe.com?
HowDoesShe.com, yeah.
All right.
I do it with 2
I'll
other...
link in the bio on the YouTube video.
I work with 2 other amazing women on that. So grateful for that business. But when we first got started out, blogging doesn't make a lot of money. You basically volunteer your hours for many years until the money starts coming in. And I realized that, and so I branched out and decided to start something called e-commerce, selling products online. And that's when I found my happy place. I wanted to, I knew that I needed to be selling products online, but I had a huge problem going into it because everything I read said I had to have money, I had to have inventory, I had to have a ton of products to offer. I didn't have any of that. I didn't have money. In fact, it was less than no money at the time, right? We were using coupons, letting the kids wear their diapers just a little bit longer.
Right.
And so I found some leftover crafting supplies in my little makeshift office that I had, put it up online and sold out within a couple hours, and I was like, whoa, this is magical.
What was that initially? Was that eBay, or what did you put it on?
No, I actually built my own site, so they didn't have Shopify yet, or ClickFunnels, or anything fancy. And so I actually begged a friend to build a little shopping cart for me.
Okay.
And I went back and looked at that first site. Oh my gosh, it's the ugliest thing ever. And I'm so grateful that I wasn't so stuck in perfection, because I don't think I would have ever launched it. It was if you Google the early days of Pick Your Plum, that was the name of the site. Oh man, just the ugliest site ever.
That's hilarious. Have you updated it since?
Oh yeah.
So you just look at the archive.com or whatever. Okay, gotcha.
Now it's beautiful, but the very first edition, not so pretty. But it still made me $200 or $300. I'm like, yeah, this is so amazing. And so the next day, well, it was kind of yes, it was so amazing. They're like, oh no, I don't have anything to sell tomorrow. So I'm rummaging through leftover party supplies from past birthday parties.
No way.
And I found these little Gable boxes.
Okay.
You put cookies in them, and you give them to people at parties, and put those up online. And I didn't sell anything. And then the next day, I don't remember what I sold, but it didn't sell either. And that night, it was a Sunday night, I was like, I don't want to do this again. Maybe this was just a one-hit wonder. I sold a couple $100, just be happy and move on, right? And I'm trying to figure out what I should do for bills and money. And then, of course, I had a little kick in the butt from Heavenly Father that said, hello, you're not stopping. And so 5 o'clock rolls around in the morning, and I launched at 7 because I could work from 5 to 7, and then my babies got up at 7:30. And so this was all strategic around nap time, diaper changes, everything around my schedule.
Mom business right there, yeah.
Yeah, so the 4th day, I got up and I'm kind of a little bit grumbling under my breath, just because I just wanted to give up and walk away, right? That 4th day, I sold out. And I don't remember what the product was. I really wish I do, but that's not really what matters. What matters is, at that moment, I had to decide if I was going to get in the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship or if I was going to get out. I had to make a decision. There was not 1 foot in and 1 foot out stuff. It was all in or all out. Right? And so I committed that day to get on the roller coaster ride of entrepreneurship and just work every single day. By the end of the first year, we turned it into $1 million business. And I was like, what in the world? By year 2, it was multi-million dollars. I had been on airplanes to China to find manufacturers. Like, it was such a wild ride, and it's because I was able to push fear aside, knowing that this was my vision, this was where I wanted to go, and make things happen.
That's amazing. Just out of curiosity, how are you advertising in those first days when you just sold like the couple $100s or whatever? Like, what were you doing for advertising back then?
Influencers.
Okay.
So when I grew this business, it was like Facebook ads. Oh, and even today, like, I hate Facebook ads. I'll use it for one of my businesses, but all my e-commerce businesses, influencers, when an influencer has your product, it goes to a hot audience, right?
Oh yeah, totally.
It's not a cold audience that Facebook's out there and they're paying Mark Zuckerberg all this crazy amount of money and you're hoping to get like a 2 or 3% ROI. Like, I want a good ROI. So I get my product into influencers' hands, and it's just not any influencer. Like, if I'm selling beauty supplies, I'm not going to go and target men fishing influencers.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it has to be someone that's lined up with your product that can easily sell your product for you.
Okay.
So it's not a hard pitch. They're just talking about it, right? And so that's honestly what I did, is I worked with influencers. Then I grew my email list of customers, not just a big following, right? It was true customers.
Influencer marketing was a big thing, and then I understand you grew multiple businesses doing this strategy, correct?
All of them except one, and that's my education course.
Okay,
And
what did you do for that one?
Facebook ads.
Facebook ads, okay.
And I hate Facebook ads, and so I actually hired that out. So I know my strengths, I know my weaknesses. Facebook ads is one of my weeknesses, and I'm okay with it. So I hire the best of the best to go do their strength. That's part of building, right?
Oh, for sure.
As you are an entrepreneur, when you first start out, you're wearing all the hats.
Totally.
And then as you start growing, you're like, oh, I hate this part of the business, or I hate that part of the business. And it's whatever you're procrastinating, whatever you're putting off, that's what you need to hire out. You need to follow your heart and your passion, because that's what God gave you as your strength. So if you're over here trying to learn accounting or Facebook ads or something hocus-pocus-ish, don't do it. You'll kill your business. Focus on what you are passionate about, and by doing that, that's when you succeed and you serve other people.
I love that, because I feel like so often entrepreneurs get caught in the trap of working in their business and not on their business.
Yep.
And if you can learn to outsource the things you don't like and just do the things that make you happy, that you're passionate about, I think that's a recipe for success. You did it once with $1 million company, you got it there, but you didn't want to feel like a one-hit wonder, so you wanted to build more. So what did you do at that point?
Yeah, so that's a lie right out of Satan's mouth, right? Like, you're one-hit wonder, you can't do this again, you just got lucky, and I like to prove him wrong.
Oh yeah.
So that's when I went out, built another company, and I did it with pillowcases, which is like kind of a boring product, right? And I had to do it. I was in a situation where I couldn't do social media, I couldn't do a lot of your traditional marketing, so I kind of built it in secret.
Right.
Without my face, without social following. So when people come up and they're like, I don't want to be on a camera, or I don't have a big social following, I'm like, okay, don't do it then, right? If you don't have something, there's always a workaround around it, right? Okay. So I worked with influencers who had big followings that would advertise it for me. And there was a warm audience, and so they would shoot traffic to it and then would convert. We're actually running a promotion right now with an influencer, and they're doing pretty well.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Happening right now live?
It is happening, like, it ends tonight at midnight.
Okay.
But like this what I do and what I teach is what 10 years ago it worked, it still works today. It's by working with others, building those communities, building people that you love, respect, and want or to write a big fat check to, right?
Totally, yeah.
And I'm still in it. Not only am I teaching it, I stay relevant because I'm literally doing it right now.
Yeah, and that's the best way. Like, my favorite teachers I've had in college are the people that are currently working on the business or the thing that they are teaching you about, because nothing is worse than someone that did it 20 years ago, hasn't done it since, and they're trying to teach you how to do it, right?
Like, they're like, what's Instagram? And they're talking about what's the old Facebook or the competitor to Facebook.
Oh, MySpace.
Yeah.
When they're still trying to tell you how to advertise on MySpace, you're in trouble.
Yep.
So, you talked a lot about influencer marketing, and I know in the early days, a lot of that was like bloggers and stuff, I understand. What has been, obviously you've seen it, there's definitely been a shift in the way people do influencer marketing. What does that look like for you in the businesses you do, from like bloggers to probably more Instagram and YouTube and...
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So influencers, there's been influencers from the beginning of time, right? Mm-hmm. It's the mediums that change.
Totally.
So 10 years ago, it was all about blogging and WordPress and people reading and commenting. And then we saw it shift to Facebook. And then Instagram came out, so there was big Instagram. And then Instagram swipe up and stories. And my top converter right now is Instagram stories and swipe ups. Like, they are the best converter. Cool. They're cheaper than Facebook ads. When you're working with an influencer who, like I said before, they've got to be able to fit your product into what they normally talk about.
So you just skipped these aren't like an Instagram ad. This is, you have the influencer directly put it on themselves onto okay.
And they're consuming the product.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then they have to abide by FTC.
Hashtag ad on the posts and stuff. Yeah.
And so they have to disclose that there is an affiliate commission. But these influencers, they use the products, and so it's not a hard sell. Mm-hmm. And they're in their homes, and they're like stretching the material or wearing a whatever, right? And they're like, I love this product, and this is why. Mm-hmm. And they're not afraid to talk about products, what they love in their home, and they have such a warm audience. They're getting tons of like interaction all the time. Mm-hmm. Now, here's another little twist. I'll add this in. It's not about big influencers. It's
that's exactly what I was going to ask you about.
It's about the micro influencers.
What is your ideal, like let's say you're doing Instagram, because that's really hot right now for influencer marketing. What is your ideal, you're selling a pillowcase or something, your ideal influencer size?
So it's all about the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
If they do not have a good conversation, I don't care if it's at 1 or if they've got 10 million, it's really about that conversation that they're having with their customers, right? That's the number one thing that I look at. And then what I like to do is make sure take this. When you're first starting out, you're going to want to test with like really small influencers. Mm-hmm. Maybe they like 2,000, 3,000, just so you can get your foot in the door and test it, right? But then once you have an established product and you've got your hook, your story, and your offer, what a guy named Russell Brunson always talks about, you can bring them in, you can convert them, you know it's a good offer, then you're going to want to look for influencers that have over 10,000, so they can do the swipe up in their stories. Mm-hmm. That swipe up is super valuable to drive traffic. And so between 10 to 100,000 is what I look for. But like I said, if they have 10,000 and 2 comments, I won't, no way.
Right. Like so you're looking for that engaged audience. You're looking at the comments. I like that.
Yeah. And it's not the likes, it's the comments. Mm-hmm. I need to know that they have a true engaged fan. And even now, like, people can buy comments, and it's like, nice pic, or great post. You can tell the ones that are sincere and the ones that aren't sincere. Right.
Is there any software or any kind of things that you use to determine like who's like a quality influencer? Because like you were saying, there's definitely people that buy their followers, they buy their likes, they buy their comments. I mean, there's like engagement pods. I feel like it's definitely a challenge to find who's a true influencer and who's manufacturing that. Is there anything you use?
Yeah, so I actually built an influencer calculator. I give it to my tribe because they invested into me, so I'm able to invest into them. But I do know that there are influencer calculators out there that you can get their ratings and just be able to go in with a little bit more confidence. But even then, if these influencers can't sell, then you're not going to sell your product, right? I've worked with a company with another business, and they do crazy amounts of sales, and they will not work with any. They told me they won't work with any celebrity because celebrities can't sell. They like to work with those micro influencers, same as us, 10 to 100,000 followers that know how to sell, that are not afraid in their stories to be like, guys, this product is so amazing, blah, 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 blah. They'll go through their stories, and if they're not selling a product, they won't work with them.
is your typical strategy to give people products for free and offer them a commission on what they sell, or do you usually pay up front as well for the post? How do you usually go about doing that?
So the trend is moving towards influencers wanting to get paid per post, right? Which, they've worked hard, they've been burned, they want to ensure that. What my job is to convince them that when they do that, they work for pennies. I want to give my influencers big fat checks, right? Okay. So let's say they charge $100, $200, $500 per post. My goal is to make them thousands. Okay. So I can be like, oh, if you would have gone with a commission, then I would have written you a check for $2,000 or whatever. And they're like, what? Right. And then from then, we're able to build these relationships to where they're promoting me throughout the entire year.
Cool.
So for instance, we've got one gal, and I don't remember what we paid her at first. Like it was, I don't even want to quote it. But we proved to her that we can sell, like our offer is really good. And her checks can be anywhere from $6,000 on up. Like she makes good money. And so we booked like every holiday, every season she possibly can. She's like, where are you guys at? Where are you at? Where are you at? I want to promote you. I want to promote you. So we're working. Awesome. Like it's a long-term relationship with these people, right? It's not about the one and dones anymore. Right. It's about building a relationship. And influencers that constantly talk about the same product over and over and over again, their audiences trust them more. Versus influencers who are like, okay, next product, next product, next product.
Right. Because you definitely see those, right? Like the influencers that have a new product like shout out in every single post, and it's just like, they're kind of like a walking like billboard, So I love what you said about like keeping that as a long-term relationship and building that out. Do you experience like audience fatigue with that? Like, do you see your sales declining when you keep promoting the same product with the same person for a long time, or?
Well, we do it strategically. Okay. Right. So we know she's growing her following, and Instagram doesn't show all of her people, all of her stuff, right? Right. And then we will do it towards the season. So whether it's Christmas or Easter or Mother's Day, so we set up the hook, the thing that's going to draw them in differently each time. Okay. And then we're marketers, right? So we're constantly playing with numbers and conversion rates and things like that. So like for instance, we had red cupcake liners, and our red cupcake liners, we got them for the 4th of July, and they didn't all sell out, which honestly, we had some that did and some that didn't, and so we had some left over, and I'm like, what else can we do? Well, what comes after the 4th of July? Christmas in July. So we took these red cupcake liners and put it all towards Christmas in July, and we sold out like that, right? Oh, so cool. Your pictures tell a story. You don't ever sell products, ever. Right. You tell stories. Okay. And that allows you to sell. These influencers that can tell stories about how their products that they're using have changed their lives, those are the ones that can sell. That's
super cool. So as far as, so that's like Instagram, do you do anything with like YouTube advertising or anything like that? No. Just yet. Mostly, Instagram really is right now super hot for that, and it's super nice that you have the swipe up feature. Yep. That's cool. So walk me through what just a killer Instagram ad from like an influencer would look like. Like, what would it say? What would it be? For the people that are kind of listening to this, they want to get in on this whole influencer thing, but they want to know, I don't know, more some like details on how that looks.
Yeah, so it's not an ad. Okay. It's a story. Right. So the Instagrammer, what they do is when I approach them, I don't send them free product because I want them to consume my site. I want them to come into my world. So let's say I'm selling a purple pen. I don't know, whatever it is, right? And they're like, yeah, I want to work with you. Instead of me saying, okay, what's your address? Let me send this to you. I say, hey, I'm going to give you a discount code on my site, and it's worth $30, $50, $100, depending on what it is, right? I want you to come buy for free the products. They come over, they see that purple pen, and they're like, oh man, she's got blue pens and pink pens and rainbow pens and all these color pens, right? So then when the product's shipped to her, and then she's on her Instagram story, she's like, you guys, I got this blue pen, it's absolutely amazing, but let's take it one step further. You should see their site. They've got so many color pens, right? So it's bringing that influencer into the world that you are creating for them to experience so that they can have a more authentic conversation with their customers. And then we usually give a deadline, urgency and scarcity. Okay, yeah. That's only open for 24, 48 hours, 72, depending on how long the influencer wants to work with us. And then it's got to be a good offer. So I have a story about this, and it actually is going a little, I didn't think, okay, let me just tell the story. So on our way up to, we live in Utah, in Kaysville, Utah, and on the way up to Boise, there is this little tiny gas station.
Uh-huh.
We don't need gas, we don't need drinks, we don't need anything, but we have to stop every single time because the kids want to go pet the dang llama. They've got a llama there, they've got food to feed the llama, and so we go, and we always have to stop, and we feed the llama, and then by that time, my husband's like, hey, let me just fill up the gas tank, and so-and-so's thirsty, and so-and-so wants a snack. So by the time we leave, we spent $40 or $50. And so now what I tell my my clan, as I call them, BecauseICan Clan, I'm like, you need to find your llama. What is the llama in your business that is going to make your customers stop what they're doing and come and buy from you? You've got to find your llama. So I get a ton of llamas, like direct message to me, tagged, and they're always like, #find your llama.
That's awesome.
And so I always tell them, find your llama. What is going to make people stop and pay attention to you? Find your llama, and then you'll be able to sell.
That's super cool. When you're working with influencers, what is like a typical like commission? Like, are you giving them like 15%, 20%, or like what do you kind of usually work with on?
So when I first started, it was $2 per product.
Okay.
And then now it's 10%.
Okay.
Because the 2%, my product, like I've done a whole bunch of products, right? And if it was cupcake liners, they were making like 20 cents or whatever it was, right?
Right.
Pennies, and they didn't want to do it. But now that like I've got higher priced products, 10%, they're like, yeah. So my end goal is to make my influencer happy. Right. So I literally want to build my margins around them to be able to pay them the best I possibly can.
Cool.
And then take it one step further. When my influencers do well, I look through their feed to see kind of what they're struggling with. Maybe their husband's out of town. Maybe they just got back from vacation. Maybe something, right? And then so I want to be like, hey, I'm sending Uber Eats to your house tonight, paying for your dinner.
That's awesome.
Because I take one of their biggest pain points away, right?
Right.
They served me. Yes, I served them. I wrote them a check. But I want to go over the top with them, and then they treat me that same way. So they'll do an extra post, they'll do an extra shout out, they'll do a free tag, because it is truly we're building each other's businesses.
That is really cool. I love that because you're finding the people that are working really well for you, and you're treating your people super well. There's 100 influencers, and I'm sure you try out like 5 or 6 before you find one that really brings in a lot of sales or whatnot.
100.
100. You want to treat that person like gold.
Yeah.
I love that. That's super smart. With your products, are you typically sourcing your products, like having them come to a fulfillment center and shipping them out yourself, or how do you do your products?
Oh, we've done the gamut. So I'm not a big fan of drop shipping. Just not. So yes, I have my own facilities, and when I first got started, I didn't even know there were fulfillment centers. Like, I had no clue. I was a junior high teacher, right? Like,
yeah. We
don't teach fulfillment.
Right.
So, what is that? And so I did start in my garage, and then build up to warehouses. We ended up selling that business, which was such a fun experience. And then I learned about fulfillment centers by that point. We were headed to a fulfillment center. It's called Ship Zoom up in Boise. Absolutely love that company. Not a commission. I just love that company. And like all of our stuff was headed up there. And then my sister was like, "Hey, can I do this for you?" And I was like, "For reals?" And she said, "Yeah." Anyway, so I ended up letting her do it.
She's fulfilling everything for you.
Yeah, so that's one part of the business. So she's got her little team, they do it. And then I have another business, the Pillows business, right? And I've just kept that in-house because we do some personalization, we do some unique type products, and I've got a little team there that I adore. And I like these people that I work with. Yeah, they treat me well, I treat them well, they bring me blueberries randomly.
Sounds like a win-win situation. So I guess obviously you have to buy the products up front with that kind of situation versus like drop shipping or something like that, and then you have to pay for shipping. So how are you able to offset those costs, like shipping or whatever? Is that just through buying in bulk so you can get it at a more discounted price?
Yeah, so what we did in the beginning is all about testing your product, right? Like, don't spend money, like big money in China. Like, I had one gal say, I'm gonna buy $20,000 in gold, whatever. And I'm like, no, you've got to test your product first. So what you do is you go out, you find a middleman, like a vendor, right, to sell your product. Your margins will probably be crap, but that's okay. All you're doing is testing the product, right? If you break even and you sold out of a whole bunch of stuff, then you're like, yes! Then you can start going to China, right? And then you start buying your products and bringing them in. And so my goal was I bought like 100 of a specific product. They sold out. They did really well. I was like, okay, looks to me like it's going to be a trending product. I'm going to do it again. So I did. They sold out again. Then I went to China and I was like, okay, what can I do to get a small order, right? And of course the price goes up, but the quantity goes down. So I played that until I could get enough cash
to justify
a bigger order.
Smart.
Yeah. So I don't, and then that's our base. Like, I know how much an order costs now, and I'm like, okay, we need this. This is our reinvestment money. We don't touch this unless it's to reinvest into the business. That's it. And we've sold out before, and we've had to wait, which it can be a problem, right?
Right.
But it was worth it for me to sell out versus having too much stock.
Totally.
I don't want to take that risk.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Have you ever done or tried like Amazon FBA or selling on Amazon? What's your experience? Did you have a preference, like regular versus that?
Yeah, I got 3 accounts shut down.
Really?
Amazon
review stuff?
No, I don't know if I ate like the wrong cereal for that morning. They never gave us Amazon's so frustrating, but it's also such a good thing, right? And so I don't really play in the Amazon field because I feel like I'm working for Amazon.
Right.
Whereas I work with influencers, I build my own email list, I build my own community, I build my own brand.
Right.
Amazon, it's like priced to the bottom.
Right.
And you're just eating in that, or you're in that red ocean, whereas building your brand on your own site, making your own rules, you create more of that blue ocean.
Right.
Where you can charge what you want to, where you can give special discounts, where you just get to play in your own sandbox.
Totally.
And eat your own cereal. And not have to worry if Amazon's like breathing down your neck.
Totally. I remember I sold a couch on Amazon once. I was just experimenting with it, but I found it on Walmart.com and then just put it up $50, put it on Amazon and sold it. What I didn't realize was the commission that they took was actually $49, I believe, on that one. So I made $1. I was just happy I didn't lose money on the deal, and I never actually continued selling on Amazon after that. But I definitely understand or agree with you on that there's like a distinction, and it's important to build an actual brand because that's what people are coming back for and stuff. Do you use Shopify or WooCommerce or something?
So Shopify, but there's also something else out there called ClickFunnels.
Yep. Okay.
Big fan of ClickFunnels.
Okay.
So Shopify gives me a conversion rate of 2 to 3%, where ClickFunnels can give me conversion rates of 7 to 9% on my first order, and then my second order, we just did one 2 weeks ago, and I was getting a 27% upsell.
Wow.
So big fan.
That's amazing.
Big fan
Yeah,
of ClickFunnels.
that's really amazing. How long have you been doing ClickFunnels for?
2 years and a month.
Okay. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What are parts of your business that you outsource, and what are parts of your business that you just love doing yourself?
So I outsource anything that I procrastinate. Okay. Because if I'm procrastinating on it, there's probably a reason, because I don't like it, right? And then I go with the drive. So like customer service, don't make me do customer service. That can suck your soul faster than anything, right? You get these people that are just, they don't think you're human.
Right.
And they're like, you suck. And you're like, really, I'm a human? And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, oh, it's like this emotional roller coaster because they don't think that we're real people.
Right.
They put a computer screen, I don't know. Humanity's all lost behind a computer screen, right? So there's that. And then the guy hired, so now my face is out there a little bit more. I used to hide behind my computer screen just selling e-commerce. So I wasn't the face of my brand. And now my face is out there more, so I actually hired online bodyguards to protect me.
Really?
Which is so frou-frou. But dang it, people are creeps.
Totally,
right?
Yeah.
And they just send really weird stuff, and I don't want that. I want to focus on helping people and serving people, not going, delete spam, get out of my brain, right?
Totally, yeah.
And so I look at what I do each week is I write down my schedule, like what am I doing, what am I working on, and then I see where I'm spending a lot of my time.
Mm-hmm.
And any time that I'm like, oh, I'm spending so much time on this, then I figure out if I can make a process out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then have someone else do the work for me. And
Cool.
so, and this is another lesson, but I use something called Trello boards.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a work management
Yeah,
type thing.
yeah.
So I'll build my process in Trello,
Okay.
and I can, if it's like, okay, I need X amount of Facebook posts published, and I need some to be viral, I need some to be conversational, I need some to be testimonial.
So you build that all out into a big Trello list?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they check it off. So my gal, I've got one of them named Jenny, she's a rock star. I literally watch her move her boards over, done, done, done.
That is amazing.
It is, and she knows exactly what I need done. There's no questions, right? And if there is, she's like, Allison, I'm like, blah, blah, blah. And then we clear it up, and then next week. And then I can build another board and another board and another board for her. So I'm building out my processes and making sure that they get done by watching my Trello boards move, and I don't have to do the work.
Oh, that must be the best feeling in the world.
It is. And then that allows my brain to open up to what I do best, and that's an entrepreneur, right? I need to be thinking, I need to be sharpening that axe versus trying to cut the tree.
You don't want to be working in your business, you want to be working on your business.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, you've started multiple companies and you sell multiple products. What do you do to find new products? Like, how do you find, like, this is the next business I'm going to do, or this is the next product I'm going to launch? Like, what does that look like for you?
So over the past 10 years, I've done it manually. Like, I go to, there's, like, sites that I look at, but actually, like, I am such a non-techie person. Oh, man, I'm not. But I hired someone to come in and build, I give this to my tribe too, the secret trend generator is what I call it. And they come in and it's like, it just blink, pops up for them. These are the top selling products, and they know it's trending.
Okay.
So that's
cool.
I build in technology.
Cool.
So I'm like, this is sucking my time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So then I found an amazing person to build technology, which technology's hard, but I finally found
someone that can do that for you.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So if people want to find you, want to join your tribe, want to get some of these tools that you've mentioned, where can they find you online?
So all my social media, everything's Alison J. Prince, A-L, just one L, ALISON Prince.com. And then the tribe, my tribe is called BecauseICan Clan.
Okay.
Where together we go out and we conquer our fears, we make money, and live the life that we've always dreamt of living without the financial chains. And then the product is actually called 0 to 100K. So I actually teach how I started all my businesses, how my daughters started their business. They went from 0 to 100K. My sister, anyways, it's a proven process. I've done this so many times, and people are just asking me for it over and over and over again. And so my product's called 0-100K to help people go from $0 to their first 100,000.
Okay.
That's 0-100K.com.
That's awesome. I'll put a link in the description of the YouTube video for that, for anyone that wants it. So before you go, what is one piece of advice that you would give to entrepreneurs? Maybe they're afraid to be entrepreneurs, or they just started, that can really help them reach their full potential. What's one thing that maybe helped you on your entrepreneurial journey?
The thing that I learned, I actually talked to your wife about this earlier, is before we go out and launch product or step into unfamiliar territory, and especially if it's a product that's going to make someone else happy or someone else smile or improve someone's life, Satan is going gung-ho. He's pulling out his whole army to take you down. And he's going to take you down with his tools that he knows how to use best right now. Like right now, it's not, Allison, I'm going to tempt you with beer, right? I'm not going to do that. But he's going to get you with self-doubt, anxiety, frustration, overwhelm, just every emotion of inadequacy. He's going to pull up and bring it the highest level, because he does not want to make you happy. He does not want you to live in abundance. God wants us to live in abundance. Satan wants us to live in scarcity, right?
Right.
And so he's bringing up all those emotions. And as soon as you can figure out that feeling and recognize it and say, okay, I'm going to succumb to those fears and anxiety and stop doing what I'm doing, I'm starting to follow Satan. But if I can push those out of my head, because I didn't even get those thoughts in my head, Satan put them there, push them out of your head. I actually have a hashtag called kick fear, kick Satan in the teeth. Push them out and take what God is handing you. He gave you the inspiration, the ideas to move forward. And you need to move forward. Like, he's trying to hand it to you. But instead you're like listening to Satan and all the crap he's putting in your head. Kick it out so that you can truly do what the Lord wants you to do. Like, that to me is my best advice. I've done it over and over and over. Like, in the first time you're like, what is going on? I'm so overwhelmed, I want to quit. That is Satan. And then the next product you do and you're like, oh, that is Satan in my head.
The pattern.
And so like 2 weeks ago, I just did a big event called ClanCon. Even after 10 years of being in the commerce space, I still feel it. It's so heavy. I went home and I was crying to my husband, and I actually had to ask for a blessing because it was just too overwhelming. But he has seen it happen to me over and over and over again. He knows how to watch me. And especially when I'm going out there and sharing a message, he knows that I need the Lord's strength so much. I need family. He is so good at saying, Allison, this is Satan, before I can realize it sometimes. Sometimes I can realize it faster than he can, but sometimes he can. So surround yourself with people and talk to him about it and say, hey, when I start to have this, or when I start to like want to quit or whatever, just come to me and be like, hey, that's Satan. Kick him out of your head. Kick him out of your head. So you can remember, oh, you get out of my head. I got work to do.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for your advice. I know this will help a lot of people, and thank you so much for being on our show today.
You're welcome. That was fun.